this is one of those groups with only four players. So, oh, and we are off actually.
Excellent. So it looks like we have a battle of the different routes, of course. The classic route that Smartalec uses, and that's the magnet first, versus Beefwatson using the top first route. Mr. Sweet, if you want to maybe spend a second talking about the differences, or just overview, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been mentioned many times so far this tournament, but magnet is pretty much the standard route for most people who are starting out with the game, for reasons of being a little bit easier, a little bit less punishing on your mashing compared to top first.
Yeah.
There's a time difference between them, but it only comes into play at really optimal times. Theoretically, there's a 4-second time gain for top first versus magnet optimally.
Right. I mean, I know, like, personally speaking, I kind of like the top first route better than magnet. Even though, like, optimally, like, if you're not, like, good enough, you're definitely going to be losing time on average. But, I don't know, there's just something about the whole, like, RNG aspect of magnet in a race setting that kind of, like, bugs me. But that's just me.
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's one of the reasons I picked top first myself. I'm actually losing time by going that route, but I just like it not having to deal with the reset RNG.
And personally speaking, I talked about this earlier when I was streaming, but I love the aspect of standardization. So it's always nice when you're going up against somebody who uses the same route as you. So I'm kind of like biased in that regards.
Yeah, that's true. We're all... Okay, so Beefwatson's stream seems to have been normalized a little bit. I wasn't seeing it over, so he's taking down top man now. He's gonna get... Oh, he gets his extra cycle.
Losing a couple seconds, but no big deal. It's especially, I mean, you can probably relate, Mr. Sweden, that when you're first starting off the top first route, trying to kill top in like the minimum amount of cycles can be a little bit rough at times.
Yeah, there's pretty much two ways you can do it. Either you just time shots on his iframes, or you mash like crazy and make sure you hit him as soon as he comes out of that spin. And it's pretty tight. You can only get in so many shots every cycle.
Right. So it looks like Beefwatson is having some technical difficulties, so we are going to try to fix that as soon as we can, but in the meantime we can kind of take a look and see how Smartalec is doing. So far, off to a good start for somebody with a 44 PB. Oh! He was going to get the Bs, but that's okay. He was just using the classic despawn method, which is kind of neat, rather than using a rush coil.
Yeah, and using the magnets to kill those Bs are... I mean, I find it hard. That's one of the reasons I prefer top first, because I'm just terrible at hitting magnets.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird timing, I feel like, with the magnets. And then, of course, you have to do the rush coil on the third B, and that one is one you can easily mess up as well. So doing the despawn method that Smartalec did is not a bad play at all. It doesn't really lose too much time compared to just using the magnets and coil.
Yeah. And I think we're good on the stream again, and Beefwatson is coming up to a crucial point here. Is he going to go for the dangerous slide spins? No.
Alright, taking it safe. Nothing wrong with
that. Good call. Dying there is not a huge time loss because it's so close to the checkpoint, but I would definitely do what he does here and just save it.
I don't know, man. Sometimes you have to go for it, though.
Yeah, I mean, in a game against someone with a superior PB, you might just go for it and try to save seconds.
Sure.
When you're even, or when you think you're ahead, you should probably play it safe. We've seen a lot of people take costly deaths in this tournament for a second or two.
I think one of the interesting aspects about this tournament is, and I feel like this relates to myself as well, is while we're all like doing really well, we're improving our PBs and whatnot, I think because of that, we're all maybe not, like, we don't have the time played under our belt, so because of that, it's like our races are a little bit more variable in how our time is going to be because we just don't have as much play time. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. It's like Beefwatson may have like a 38, but he may not be able to get anywhere close to that because of the consistency factor.
Exactly, and Ray, ooh, Smartalec very close to dying on Hardman there. He gets him in the not a quick cycle, but still gets Hardman down. I was gonna say, yeah, the race strategies definitely come into play, and we don't know how many which runners have more race experience and which are more RTA runners. That's definitely a factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my race feed has just gone dark. I'm not sure if that's just me or. Okay. Right.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I have a few technical issues, unfortunately, on Beefwatson's side. So we're going to do our best to commentate this, but hopefully we're not too far off on the feed. But looks like Beef is doing the single blocks in the Gemini section right now. Really hard section. He's playing a little bit safe, which is perfectly fine. You definitely don't want to die here. It's a pretty significant time loss. He was able to navigate that section successfully. And Beefwatson taking care of Gemini. Looks like little issues. Definitely want to be careful with Gemini's fight because he does do a lot of damage if you run into him, and if you do the stage optimally, you're going to be quite low on health at times. So definitely play a little bit carefully, and of course, Beef having no issues whatsoever.
Yeah. It's the hardest stage in the game, and there's so many places where you can pick up little bits of damage, and by the time you get to Gemini, you might be in for a rough ride.
Sure. Yeah, I think part of the tough part about the top first run is basically you just start off with the gauntlet of stages. I mean, top first is no easy of a stage. You're not going to die there as much, but it's just really difficult to get a good stage there. And then you go into Shadow, which is impossible. And then you follow Shadow with an even more impossible stage in Gemini Man. Which I guess is good because once you get those three stages out of the way, the rest of the 8 robots are really not too hard. So it's kind of nice in that regards.
Yeah, get your resets done early.
Yeah, I'm kind of more in favor of the whole, get the hard stages out of the way because you're most likely going to end up resetting over bad beginning stages anyway, so might as well reset over the really impossible stages.
Yeah. Beefwatson's cruising through the vacation stage of this run. It's the shortest level in the run, and the one with the least potential risks of dying, I'd say.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see the Nadua lasers?
Oh, good question. All right.
I think so. My screen froze off the first laser, but it looks like he's dead.
I think he's good, yeah. Did freeze for a little bit, but I think he's fine. So now you're seeing the power of the magnet, of course, in Shadow stage that the Smartalec is using right now. You don't have to use top and do some really precise slides to do it optimally. So you can just fire magnets. They auto track, of course. It makes that section a lot easier than the top first route.
Yeah, magnet missile all around is a really useful weapon in this game. It solves so many sections.
Yeah. That's basically the sole reason why Magnet First is a thing, is because of how good Magnet is as a weapon.
And I would hate to do Doc Gemini without the existence of Magnet Missile.
Oh, I can't even imagine how you would do the first room without the Magnet.
Unfortunately, I completely lost Beefwatson's feed.
Yeah, I think he's just having some technical issues, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll come back on soon. But I mean, just kind of going over Smartalec, I feel like he's having a really good run right now. His gameplay doesn't look very indicative of a 44 time, so I might see another PB on the way.
I think that's very likely. Who knows? He might have secret PBs that we don't know about.
Ooh.
Just hasn't uploaded them.
I love the secret strats. All right, so it looks like Beefwatson is back.
Yeah, here we go. And since both of these runners are using different routes, we're not really gonna see how they're matching up until either they do Snake and the Spark in the same fashion, or we reach the dot stages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people do with the magnet in the top first route, most people do Snake and Spark 7th and 8th, but some people choose not to because it doesn't matter whether you do Snake or Spark 7th or 8th, it makes no difference. So a couple of people choose to do it the other way around, so we'll see.
That's true. They're pretty isolated stages. I mean, Snake Man is Rush Jet's the stage. As long as you have Rush Jet, you're fine.
Yep. I mean, technically speaking, you can do it before Magnet if you wanted to. There's no really reason you can't. But it's just kind of the weird thing about the route orders in this game is there's so much variety to it because of the weaknesses and the soft weaknesses in this game.
Yeah, that's really an interesting aspect of it. A lot of the classic Megas are pretty locked down in their routes, but Mega Man 3 is really open, even with some people going for Needle first.
Yes, the ever classic Needle first. I believe we have we also have Infinite Mystery who did Snake first. So
what?
The rarely seen.
Well, that is so rarely seen. I have never seen it.
It's just so interesting how you can literally do like any robot first if you wanted to. I mean, obviously there are definitely those that are faster than others, but it's not like, something like a Mega Man 5 where the route is set, and if you do something else, it's significantly slower.
Okay, I think I have Beefwatson running again. Let's see if it stays this way.
Let's see right here real quick. So yeah, we aren't able to update the Robot Masters at the moment because of the technical difficulties, but right now, Beefwatson is on his 6th Robot Master, which is Hardman, and Alec, I believe, is on his 5th? Forgot the order of Magnet.
Yeah, the downside to having two top first runners.
Yeah.
I guess I'm sure there's some Magnet fans in chat that can point this out. But
all right, we're gonna find out right now. Magnet, Hard, then Top, then Shadow, then Needle. Okay, yeah, he's on a 6 now.
Yeah, right. So Alec is going into the short, relaxing stage right now, where Beefwatson streams locks up on Hardman stage again.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Gemini, or rather Needle, being one of the easiest Robot Master stages, there's really not too much going on. Even with the use of the Magnet in the stage, it doesn't really make too much of a difference in time, because most of these things do require one shot, like, the Mets all require one shot, so it doesn't make too much of a difference having Magnet here.
Yeah, it mostly just makes that section easier. With Buster only, it's a bit more technical, more like the Dark Room on Shadow Man, or the first section on Gemini, where you need to just place precision shots at the right timing.
Sure.
Most importantly, Magnet does make these hammer joes up here a little bit easier.
That is true. But I believe, I don't know why Alec is not using the Magnet. I thought he had some ammo left, but I guess he didn't have enough.
That's possible. And he's taking it safe onto the Stomper.
Sure.
Call.
Yeah, the Stomper, it is faster to, of course, take damage on the Stomper, but it does do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Basically, you can slide through it once, and then while you're in iframes, you can slide through it again. But if you mistime it, you get really, really sad. And Nona Duas cleans up Needle nicely. Unfortunately, I can't see his splits, so I don't know if he's ahead or not. But
Yeah,
these PB, this looks like a good pace, though.
definitely. I mean, he could definitely have sub 20 here, which is really solid for somebody who has a 44 PB.
We are taking to the skies for both players as they're on Snake Man now. Beefwatson doing the good olds, take Mega Man Sprite off the screen because Mega Man 3 is also lag the Mega Man game because everything lags this game.
And he's not kidding when he means everything. Literally everything lags this game. You're talking about weapon drops, you're talking about music, talking about rush, anything that you can possibly imagine lags this game, and that's never a good thing.
Mm-hmm. You will hear Fasta talk on his tutorials, I think, about how firing a couple of extra buster shots on a screen will actually have a noticeable difference on time throughout a run.
Yes. I mean, that's just one of those things where you can visually see how bad it is. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah. And for that reason, we might see a couple of rush cancels here on this stage because rush is used so frequently. And you can actually slide and pause while rush is out to make him disappear from the screen to save yourself a little bit of lag.
Yeah. So it looks like the difference is about a minute and a half or so between the two. Still, you know, nothing insurmountable for Smartalec. There are some really punishing deaths in this game, especially in the Doc Robot stages.
Yes. And we have a good question in chat. Why is this game so laggy? Mostly that's put down to this game having been through a rather rushed development cycle where they didn't really have time, at least allegedly. That's the story.
Yeah. Hey, that's their story and they're sticking to it.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of runners, or most runners, will tell you that the Spark stage is free, but every time a speedrunner says that something is free, they're lying.
You sound like you have horror stories here, Mr. Sweet.
Oh, I think we've all had those. That I think it was Masimov who said that every death on Sparkman is the ones where we say, "I've never seen that happen before."
He's not lying because I literally said that in my last race against Fast. I died in one of the in the last room before the boss in one of the platforms that I've never died off of. I don't understand.
The ones that Beefwatson are traversing as we speak. There is a safe pattern to go over that.
Yes.
But if you slide off the wrong platforms, then you die, and it's really hard to figure out which are the wrong ones.
Yep, absolutely. And I do believe Beefwatson is currently on PB pace. Still, of course, got a lot of the game to go, but definitely having a really solid run so far.
Yeah, I think I see a gold split on Hardman on his splits there. Fortunately, Frozen again, he did get a good pattern of Sparkman, and I'm assuming he finished at about 18:20 maybe on 8 rules.
Something like that, I'd imagine. 18:25-ish. Really respectable time.
Beefwatson threading the needles on those little lightning zappers, and he is maybe gonna get a sub 28 robos. Nah, probably not.
Probably not.
Can be close.
Yeah, still a good time. But, you know, you may have good 8 robots, but then the worst part of this run has to be the 4 Doc Robo stages. I mean, these stages are just brutal. There's really no other way to describe them. They're all insane in their own way.
Yeah, they are so punishing, and in pretty much every race throughout this tournament, we have seen people take that stair and races getting thrown in all kinds of directions.
Yep. I mean, I don't really think there's a I mean, it seems like every death there, except for like maybe the first screen of Doc Needle, is like a super punishing death, like 30 plus seconds everywhere you go.
Yeah, absolutely. The stages are long, and there's something that can kill you in every section.
Yep. So it looks like 2023 teleport for Alec. Very respectable.
Yeah, wish we could see splits to tell if he's ahead, but that seems like faster than a 44 pace.
Oh,
we don't know how his dock stages are.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, I remember like when I was first de-rusting this game, like you can have a good 8 robos, and then all of a sudden, like you can have a decent dock robos, and then you're like losing so much time. So it's definitely a lot harder to get a good time off the dock robos than it is to get a good time off the 8 robos.
Mm-hmm. And Smartalec going into what I would consider being the most difficult stage of the dock robot stages. Everyone has their own opinion, of course,
Sure.
on what's the most difficult one.
Yeah. So it looks like we are getting Beefwatson back. I believe he's oh yeah, so he's done with Doc Gemini. I imagine it went pretty well.
I assume so, because if he had died, he shouldn't have been finished already.
Yeah.
And both players opting to go for the most common first dock robo stage, which is Gemini, of course. But there's no really any set route for these.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, every dock robot, of course, you have all the abilities already, so it doesn't matter what you do. It's really all a matter of preference. But I agree with Swede. I mean, Doc Gemini is such a hard stage. It's it may not have as many choke points as like some of the other stages, but there's just so many little things there that I feel like you want to get that one out of the way first.
Yeah. Depending on whether you feel like you might need an extra E-tank, that's where it might play in which order you put Dock Needle, because there is a tank there you can pick up if you know you're gonna need it. So, sure. Especially if you're new, there might be a good reason to not do that one first, so you have the option of go either getting the tank or not if you need it later on.
Right. There was a question in chat. What is the longest Dock Robot stage? Oh, the Robot Masters? That's... I want to say, is it Snake? Could be wrong.
Of the 8 robots? Yeah. That's... no, wait, actually Gemini is longer.
Yeah,
Snake,
you're right.
Snake is close.
Yep, you're right. And of the Dock Robos, I believe Doc Gemini and Doc Needle are similar length.
Yeah, they're both really close. Doc Needle is a bit longer, but it's only a matter of seconds, really, optimally speaking. The worst part about Doc Needle is that it's probably the one with the worst potential costly deaths. There's a long way to all of the checkpoints, and if you die after the rush jet section, that's horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember, I think Fast had a death, unfortunately, in our race. That cost him a minute when he died to Doc Air. So it's just some super punishing deaths on that stage.
Shoutouts to Fast at getting a 35 with a Doc Needle death.
Minute and like 10 seconds death, and he still gets a 35, a mid 35.
So while we're watching the spinning wheel on Beefwatson's screen, Smartalec is going into Doc Spark.
Okay, a little change for pace, going for Doc Spark second. I could understand that. I feel like some people choose to do Spark early because of Doc Quick. Quick, of course, can be miserable to some people, and if you have the E-tanks, you might as well save them based on that, and then like Sweet said, you can go to Doc Needle later and get another E-tank.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Of all of the 8 Doc robots, Quick is the run killer.
Yeah.
Especially when you're new to the game. He has he's not as random as you would think, and not as scary once you start to get the hang of it, but
Yeah, he definitely, like, when you don't have that much experience with him, he can be a pain in the butt. The important part about Doc Quick is to basically know how to fight him. You have to make sure you take damage from his boomerangs rather than the actual Doc himself, because the boomerangs do like 2 damage, whereas the actual boss does like 8. So
Yeah, that's right.
huge difference.
And just to make things even worse, you might very often need an E-tank for him, and the only 2 weapons that you use against him, Gemini Laser and Search Snake, all leave things on the screen that will prevent you from pausing if you need to emergency tank in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
So you either want to E-tank before, or you want to be really, really careful, and Smartalec is not going for the E-tank. He's just gonna beast this.
He's bold. I like it.
See if Quick does the short or the long jump. He does the short jump.
Short jump. He was very fortunate. Oh, that's not good. Oh, he got his menu in time. Okay, he's good. That was super close.
I don't know what pixel he stood on to avoid that getting hit there, but shoutouts to that pixel.
That was insane. I cannot believe he didn't die there.
Oh, snap. And one of the keys to beating Doc Quick is actually to constantly be really close to him, which is not intuitive, because he's big and scary and he wants to kill you, so you don't want to hug him. But that's pretty much how you get him.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't do like short hops to you or anything like that. His hops are generally fairly big, so being close to him means you have a less likely chance of getting hit by him.
Smartalec now going through the longest stage of this run, and he really does not want to take a death here.
Yeah.
Because for rush it here means he might be picking up that E-tank we talked about earlier.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely the smart call. He has no E-tanks left, so it's pretty prudent for him to get that extra E-tank.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Beefwatson is also in Doc Needle at the moment, but this is his 3rd Robot Master, not his 2nd. So there's like a 1 Robot Master lead for Beefwatson at the moment.
Doc Air, he is easier on Mega Man 3 than he is on 2 because you can slide under a couple of the patterns. Basically, the worst pattern in Mega Man 2 is the best pattern in Mega Man 3 Worldwoods.
Yeah. It's interesting how the patterns change because of the weapon that you have. Because Spark fires lower to the ground, it's more ideal to have that pattern where the air tornadoes are a little bit higher rather than in Mega Man 2 where your bullets will end up just tinking off of them.
Yes. You can also use magnet missiles on Airman, usually used in an emergency when you've accidentally blown through all your Spark shock.
Alright, so it looks like Beefwatson was able to finish Needle. Looks like he must have had a death there because the splits are showing plus a minute after he was like ahead. So unfortunate, but still doing fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Alec misses the Search Snake, so he's probably gonna switch to Shadow Blade.
Oh, we may not know the backup. Uh-oh, this is bad. This is bad. Oh no, I don't think you can use magnet.
No.
Rush Coil, no, this is not gonna be either. Okay.
Oh, this is great. Oh, the Swag Coil.
I love
precision shooting right there. That might be one of the... We were talking about race strats, and a lot of people in this tournament maybe have mostly done RTAs, and you might not work on so many backup strats. Yep. You don't do many races. So it's interesting to see.
It's unfortunate. It's really hard to use Snake on those like big Mets because you have to be very close to it, and if you're even slightly farther, like, and when we mean slightly, we mean like just a couple pixels farther than what you need to be at, you're gonna end up taking damage from him. And because of how much damage you take throughout the stage, you go into that section with very low health. So it's a really hard section to get down, and unfortunately he took the damage and died.
Even more unfortunate, that is I think without having any data to support it, the most costly death in the game.
I would probably have to agree with that. The only death that may be comparable is like dying to Yellow Devil, but even that might be a little bit faster than that death.
It's probably close. Yellow Devil doesn't have a checkpoint, but it's a shorter stage, so I might give the edge to Yellow Devil actually. Good point.
Oh no! Oh no! Uh-oh. So it looks like Beef Watson was up to Doc Quick, he died, and he game overed in Doc Quick. He's gotta do the whole stage over again.
Well, we just got ourselves a race.
Yes, not too far now. Very unfortunate. That's actually surprising. He must have gotten a single one up.
Yeah, I know he took a death on Doc Needle. He must have taken 2 on Doc Spark.
Maybe.
For this to add up.
Yeah.
He still has a lead because he is on his last stage, and Alec is just finishing up the second last. But Doc Shadow isn't that long of a stage if Alec can beast it out without any deaths.
Sure. Yeah, I want to say it's probably like a 35 to 40 second lead for Beefwatson at the moment, so anything is definitely possible. Looks like Smartalec. Oh no, that's not where you want to die.
Oh, was he going for the despawn?
I don't know what he was trying to do there, but fortunately, that's one of the few spots in the dock stages where you're not losing too much time.
Yeah. And it looks like it's not going for the despawn.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that lag a game, as was mentioned before, the music.
Yeah, so there are a few instances in this game where you can actually despawn the music. Basically, as you're transitioning, if you happen to die on like a spike or something, the game thinks you're dead but doesn't kill you. So of course when you die, the music stops playing and you hear the death sound. But since you're still alive, well, the death sound plays, but you just keep going, so the music's despawned. So the most common one that like pretty much every runner uses is the Gemini despawn. Of course, you don't die there, but you're skipping a cutscene and that despawns the music. But some of the harder tricks in this game involve, of course, the Doc Shadow despawn and the Doc Spark despawn. So you can despawn the music in both of those stages.
Whereas the Doc Shadow one, there is a 100% setup that will always get it if you execute it right. While the Doc Spark one, it's not 100%, and there is a risk of dying with one of the setups.
Oh no, that's not where you want to die.
That's also a costly death, and is he down to his last life now?
I want to imagine he's pretty low on lives if he's not at 0.
Oh, that is bad. And Beefwatson is going into wild.
Yeah. That's also a really punishing death.
Absolutely, and especially if he's we got an extra life there, Clutch. Because you don't want a game over at the end of this stage that has tripped up many races.
Yeah, the Doc Wood he does a lot of damage. Yeah, so you have to be extremely careful when you're fighting him. Maybe he didn't have any E-tanks left, or maybe he just thought he could take the hit, but that was really unfortunate.
Now, this is by no means over. We have so far in this tournament seen 1 soft lock on Gemini refight, so...
Yes. That certainly made that race interesting.
For those who haven't watched that yet, you definitely should watch the race between Kyle Precise and Jaspix, where Kyle soft-locked on Gemini and had to do a password and do all of the wider stages again, and he still won by 2 seconds.
Yeah, so...
That's sick.
It's insane.
Scary part for Alec here. Another shoutouts to Magnet Missiles, making things a lot less deathy.
Yeah, there's definitely a faster way to do that, but it's also incredibly risky. If you slide on basically each platform while you fire bandits, you're at the mercy of drops. If drops come from those enemies, there's a very good chance they end up just falling to your doom.
Yes. Let's see if we get any double hits on Heatman here. Oh, we do. Nice.
Excellent. Excellent. Good fight.
Very good. If you hit Heatman on the same frame as he comes out of his little fire travel thingy, you can hit him again. So it's possible to kill him in 2 cycles. But it's really difficult to get 4 hits in.
We could take this opportunity to say shoutouts to IBM Computing.
Right. Oh, so Smartalec is actually running on the English version. Only now was I able to tell because we haven't seen any text until now.
Sure.
The reason you want to play this, you possibly want to play this on the Japanese version, is not because the text saves time. It actually doesn't. There's pretty much no differences besides iframes working a little bit differently when you pause the game. So you can kill Gamma a second quicker in the Japanese version. Unless you do the snake strat, in which case it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But if you actually do the snake strat, you're really good.
Oh! Beefwatson stream just came back to life for me just as he easied Yellow Devil.
Yeah, I saw that. Good timing.
Sorry guys if we're missing calls on Beefwatson's. I'm forced to refresh it constantly, so I might not see what everyone else is seeing.
I believe we are all in the same boat at the moment. It's not just you. Yeah.
Remains to be seen if Smartalec has an easy ready for Yellow Devil. In the mid 40s, there's a good chance that he hasn't bothered putting that much time into that fight because it saves 18 seconds to get it in 1 cycle.
I mean, even in I can't even get the 1 cycle devil and I have a 37, so
yeah,
it's one of those things where 18 seconds is a lot, but you can definitely save more time just kind of refining your strategies for each stage rather than focusing on really cool tricks like that.
Yeah. And besides, you don't want that in a PB run anyway, because then you have to run against a run where you got the 1 cycle kill and that you're just sad.
Exactly.
Gonna see as Smartalec comes into Yellow Devil stage and Beefwatson finishes off the clones in style.
Nice. So yeah, Wily 2 is a very short stage. There's really not too much going on here, but definitely a stage that you just make one little mistake, you can end up dying. And like Mr. Sweet said earlier, there are no checkpoints in this stage, so if you die anywhere, back to the start.
Looks like Smartalec is gonna pick up a couple of extra E-tags here. Taking it safe. No, he actually. Oh, no, he goes for everything.
He just wants the extra energy, you know?
Gotta get that 100% run.
That's right. Alright. So yeah, Beefwatson's coming to the refights now. Let's see if Smartalec is gonna try to go for the quick kill.
That doesn't look like it. He should be inside Yellow Devil's arc by now if he would.
Alright, well, I'm kind of curious if he's able to kill him in 2 cycles now. I mean, he's done half his health, but
yeah,
I think the second, I think the second cycle lasts shorter than the first one. So I could be wrong on that.
I have never timed that out, but now I'm interested to do. Oh, nice! Okay. He gets it.
Was able to do it. Excellent.
Hard Knuckle is an alternative, especially if you're not doing the quick strats, because it does more damage, but it's a bit hard to time on knuckles as well. So
Yeah. It's incredibly hard to get down to nice timing.
oh, Beefwatson heading into Needleman. I can see him move, but I have an impressionist painting of pixels across the screen.
Right now, he's okay on my stream. He just finished Magnet, so he's going into Spark to close out the robots. So far, it looks like he's had a solid refights, from what I can tell. Wasn't quite able to kill Spark in the quickest way, so you had to get the energy drop at the end, the unnecessary energy drop.
Yeah, sometimes Spark either gives you a bad pattern or you miss and you end up having the health refill on the teleporter.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Alex got to figure out where... Okay. Okay, is he tanking?
Good. Play safe, you have 40 attacks.
So how that fight works is Mega Man, the actual clone you need to kill is always on top initially, but after that it's random. So if you don't kill him, you know, with the damage transfer using top, or you just don't get to him in time, it's actually random as to which one is the one to kill. So fortunately, the bottom one was the one that you had to kill.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of backups, what is your backup for when you miss the kill on the top floor?
If I'm on the top still, I just run after him and hope I can kill him with top. But if that doesn't work, then pray. It looks like Beefwatson should be finishing up any second.
I think so. Trying to get he is heading into Kama now. Probably gonna be a 42-10 maybe.
Looks like he did finish in race spot with a time of 42.05. So
right.
Okay, yeah, it looks like he's showing finished on my screen. So GG to Beefwatson. Unfortunately, had some technical difficulties, but was able to plow through.
Yeah, we got to see some highlights along the way. And shoutouts to Alec for not being that far behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't quite think if his PB is still at 44, I don't quite think he can beat that at this time, but still a very respectable time.
Yeah, he has quite a couple of brief fights left, and of course, approximately a minute 15 at least on 2 Wily fights. Hopefully we do not get the soft lock here.
Of course not before a great Nadua laser. And another one.
Nadua shows his ugly face.
Alright.
And if you think one laser lags the game, try 2 lasers.
You never have enough lasers.
There we go.
So yeah, kind of the cool thing about this refights route is pretty much all of your weapons that you need to use are all on the same screen of your weapon menu. So it's really nice in that regards. There's only one time you need to actually go to the second menu screen, and that's for the end when you switch the shadow. So that's really a major part of why this refights route is a thing.
Yeah. Pretty much the entire refight routing is just based down on what's the quickest menu.
Yep. Yeah, I remember back in the old days, way back when in 2014, you know, that was like in the stone age of speedrunning. We did, I believe we did Shadow last. It was an interesting routing that we had back then, but times have changed. Smarter people came on and realized we were stupid.
That's the glory of speedrunning. There's always someone around the corner to prove you stupid.
That's right. Hey, and I love them for that.
Yes. Gotta embrace the change.
Alright, so let's see. So Smartalec is switching to Snake. Of course, Snake is the easiest way to kill the first part of the machine. We'll see if he tries to go for the quick kill after that.
Yeah, so would you like to talk a little bit about that quick kill setup?
Is he? Yeah, he was. Couldn't quite go for it.
Uh,
I think he was trying to do it, but unfortunately wasn't able to. So he has the backup of just switching to jet and mashing as much as you can.
Yeah, Rush Jet needs to get some more love. Oh, but he had to E-tank, so he's gonna have to reject.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Alright, this is fine. Whoop. There we go.
Fortunately, there's not that many sprites on the screen slowing down the game.
Should be coming up on the conclusion. Wily 6, the final stage. Gamma's a very easy boss to kill. But like Mr. Sweet said, he is on the English version, so I'm curious to see what he does in order to kill the boss.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to do the kill where you jump off straight underneath him and top spin him off Rush Coil. He's either gonna have to go over to the side or do the snake mashing, but I don't think we're gonna see that. Probably gonna go out to the left and use Rush Coil.
Yeah, you would be correct, it seems. Oh no, he forgot he has no top!
It actually doesn't matter. The question is, does he know? When you turn your bullets into top,
yeah,
you don't need top energy.
You're
but
right.
He didn't realize it.
He doesn't know. Fortunately, he knows that snake is a weakness, though. I forgot about that fact. Having a little bit of a problem.
Many of us have. I think everyone has gone through losing a run to thinking you needed top there, and then having someone point out, dude, you didn't need top.
I actually forgot about that because I know there's been a few runs where I did the refights where I got top ammo afterward just to be safe. Oh no, he does.
Oh, Alec, no. Oh, that is heartbreaking.
Oh no, but he's gonna get some top ammo,
Yeah,
here we go. So at least he feels good.
Getting a little extra just to be safe. I mean, that's not an intuitive thing to know that you don't actually need top spin energy to use the bullets. It's totally understandable, especially for someone newer at the game to not know.
Alright. So
there we go. GG.
GG. Well done. Going on strong. Solid finish time, 47:43. I believe Race Spot has 47:49, so only a 3-minute only is a 5-minute difference. Not too bad.
No, both players had a couple of costly deaths on the dark stages, so considering that, very respectable times from both our players. So coming up, I don't know if it's gonna be a dual match 4-way, or if again we're only doing one of them. But we do have KLM 1187 versus Lightning 5 and Kai Precise versus Cancer 786.
Awesome.
Both being run at the same time.
Pretty good matches coming up.
Indeed. So again, shoutouts to the runners who participated in this race. Shoutouts to Fiesel for keeping the production going. Shoutouts to Beefwatson's stream for not quite hanging in there.
He tried, man. He tried.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Mr. Swede being an excellent commentator.
Likewise.
You're too kind.
For allowing me to join you on this glorious evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the world watching Mega Man.
All that matters is it's a good time to watch Mega Man.
Absolutely. So stay tuned, and there will be more games very shortly.